How you doing, everybody? Hi, Bruce. Yeah. Hey, and that's something. Oh, fancy meeting you here. Yeah. All of the usual suspects, huh? You're on vacation this week, so I have all the time in the world except when I play teacher for the kids. Yeah. Boy, I tell you, um, ah, when our kids were younger and much younger, there'd been something. Hey, Tim. Hi, Rohit. Uh, Today, I got my copy of Europa Star, and they have a lot of, hey, Junior. Hi, Mark. They have a lot of good articles in here. One I was starting to look at is Urban Jurgensen. So they're sort of interesting. Let's see who we got here. See, Junior and Williams watches, an underachieving watch collector. That's me. Pip, Sam, how you doing? Um, well, I'm glad you guys could come, and there's a bunch of things I wanted to take a look at today. One thing. Hey, Bruce Gallo. Oh, hi, neighbor, Mark. How you doing? Um, I wanted to take a look again at some of these online courses, since all of us to some extent have to be at home unless we're you know medical workers or something like that. Um, so I thought, well, be a good time for this. Hi, Apostolos. How are things in Athens? This friend of mine in India, I got a note from him today, and he's an old friend from back in the computer days, and I think they got a 21-day shutdown in India, something like that. And man, I tell you, he doesn't like that at all. Can't blame him, really. Okay, well, let's take a look at a couple different places. Earlier today, I was talking about a guy who has an online course, and here's the link. Now, this is it's a YouTube, and the guy's English. He's really a cool guy. And hi, James, too. I just was sending something out from London, and he's a great watchmaker and a great. He has that particular one will go through sort of a real basic one on it, but he has a full blown one. Hi, Chi Town, and so that if you that is one thing that you might be interested in doing. I guess the only problem is going to be is getting the parts, but even that may not be. I mean, a lot of places online are taking care of business as usual, which is a good thing. I don't know things. Most of the parts I get and movements and so forth come from China, and but you can, if you go to eBay, there are a lot of things for whatever country you're from. You can find it from the U.S. or England or Greece, and from there. Hi, True Junior, or Truger. How you doing? Um, I'm glad of that. Okay, now here's the other one. This is another online course for watchmaking, and the all of the elements in that are online on a great big web page. Just go from one to the other, and that's the one I went through. It's pretty good. You take a movement apart, and then you put it back together. Hey, 90 knots, how you doing? Hey, Stefan. Um, so anyway, do any of you get this magazine, Europa Star? Uh, I forgot how I've been taking it for a while, and then they said they wanted to charge for it, and I thought, nah, I don't think so. But they kept sending it to me, so I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, basically it's held together by the advertisers, And the first 3 pages, you've got Rolex, Audemars Piguet. These are just ads. And then Longines and Chanel and so forth. There's nothing in this particular issue that I've just got it. Here's one by Beauvais and Richard Mille. Wow. Okay. All right. And there's something called the Europa Star Club. That's probably something to subscribe to. But one of the things that a company I want to find out more about is Carl Boucher, and this is their cover story. So I've got, among other things, I've got plenty of stuff to do, a lot of reading and stuff, and so that's one of the things that I can do with during this time stuck at home. God, I tell you, I never thought I'd get tired of Netflix, but I have. Watching TV. My wife and I were watching a movie and almost finished with it, and I thought, yeah, didn't want it anymore. Hey, Sam, you got an old Elgin pocket watch for about $15 off of eBay that I take apart and mess with to learn watch repair construction. That's a great idea, Sam. That is a really great idea, because if you get an old watch, what you can do, you got the case, you got the movement, and you got everything but the knowledge. So you add that and you can do a lot of stuff with it. So I think that's a great idea. It's very economical too. Getting a $15 watch off of eBay is sure beats even beats getting a $25 movement from Hong Kong or something. So anyway, that's a cool thing to do. Maybe I should experiment with my hand-wound Indian HMT watches. I don't know about HMT. Tell me about HMT watches. Are these, is that a brand or what? Let's see. At least I'm distracted by work to break up the monotony. Monotony. Well, that's a good thing. That's, we got, let's see, at least three kids, possibly four of our kids are working from home now. One, I think, probably got laid off because he's in the restaurant business. The other ones are doing other things that you can do from home. Hey, Longshoreman. So anyway, so these are some of the other things. The other thing I wanted to talk about were some books. This came up about what are some books, and let's see. Here's another magazine. If you have a Patek Philippe, you get this free forever. And it's a really nice magazine, watch magazine. And then they have other kinds of stories. Oh, here's some things that I want to pull out. This is probably still, I think, the best beginner's book you can get. If you don't have it and you don't know anything about watches, it's a good one. It's called the Wristwatch Handbook, and it's by Ryan Schmidt. So for starting off, that's a great one. I got some other ones down here. This one, once you really get into watchmaking, I don't think there's anything that's not in this book about watches. This is really a classic. So those are a couple books that you can play around with. And I got some more in here. I don't know where they are. I have to dig them out. But that's something you can go online and take a look for different watch books. And like I said, we got time right now to do stuff. Okay. What else I was thinking? What would be fun to do if we could do it? Hey, Pip Linda. Great. What we could do would be neat if we could get a project that we could all do together. Like get the same movement, get the same case, get the same this and that, and then sort of build a watch or something. I don't know. I think another thing we might do, in fact, I might do it right when we're finished here, is head for eBay or someplace and get an old watch to take apart. Now I have one, I the thing is I've never messed around with automatics, and I probably should. I've got an old Raymond Weil in there that might be fun to take apart and maybe put it back together. But the crown on it is so worn; it's worn smooth. So that might be a thing to do. Um, okay, HMT equal the Indian Timex. Thanks, Chi-Town. Going to sign up for online class if I survive the COVID. Yeah, yeah, that's sort of what we're doing with the time now. Hi, Fahrenheit. Looking forward to your take on Urban Jurgensen. I think I did a video on that, Fahrenheit, at one time. I think if you take a look, just take a look at the videos. I'm pretty sure I did one on Urban Jurgensen some time ago. It's back on Danish hands. Economore project for wealthy businessmen. Well, hopefully they'll be wealthy enough to ride this storm. You know something? We had talked about this the other day. The sort of having a watch company as a rich person's hobby. I got a feeling that what's the name? What is Christine Hutter? Christine Hutter, who's the CEO for Moritz Grossman. I got a feeling she's rich. Hey, Javier, and so is Rafa, Pascal Raffi, who bought Beauvais and turned it into this wonderful company, as opposed to just using the name and not doing a lot with it. So I think that's a good thing. Let me see some other ones that. I don't know. What would be a good project that we could do? Maybe we could do this. Let's all get a cheap watch and one a hand wound one, and take it apart. Okay, and each meeting we can, start with taking the back off, then loosening the screws that hold in the movement, then taking out the movement. And then loosening the crown and stem and pulling out the stem, and then taking out the movement, then removing the hands, and then put it all back together again. That might be fun. So anyway, that might be. Any other ideas you guys have for a project we could sort of do while we're stewing here in the COVID 2020, the time when we all destroyed our old watches? Not on purpose, so taking them apart. I would hate to see Moritz Grossman go under. Such wonderful watches. Yeah, they do. They're very nice watches. I like them a lot. I think they're awfully expensive, though. Really expensive. I think for the watches. The one they have that I really like. Well, I like a lot of them, but one they have sort of like there's a on the lug, they have like a bar lug, and you turn the bar lug to wind it. Sort of cool watch. I think Amazon sells an entry-level watch repair kit for less than $20 that has a lot of useful tools. Sam, I think you're right. That might be something. Amazon, though, they they want, there are all of these online companies that want to hire like 100,000 people because they need them. There's so many orders now. And so that's an idea. Getting, you could probably also get a brand new mechanical watch from Amazon for, get one with a movement of unknown origins. Trouble is, some of the really cheap ones, they have a lot of plastic in there that you don't want to play with. Okay. Yeah, watch repair kit. If you want to get a cheap watch repair kit, that's okay. Like I said, I for playing around and stuff for a single project, that might not be a bad idea. Uh, yeah, they got low production numbers, and yeah, I got a feeling that it's very tough for them. I ran into uh, Christine Hutter at the last Watch Time show. I talked to her for a little while, and I don't know, she was not in a good mood. I'll put it that way. I think it just the show didn't go the way she had hoped. She gave me this really cool, like a, a stick, a memory stick, and she had all of this stuff inside of it about her watch company, which I thought was sort of cool. Uh, yeah, I think I don't know. I think she comes from a lot of money though. But sure, watches. A lot of her basic watches are like $35,000. Man, it's a lot of money for somebody who doesn't have a reputation. And is like F.P. Jorn or Kerry Booten Lannen. Uh, let's work on a world time perpetual calendar moon phase with magnetically foot. Yeah, Mark. Mark, I tell you, we need to work on something really simple. You start with simple stuff and you go from there. I'm just finishing up after here. There are a couple Tutima watches, couple two new chrono. Not they're not that new, but they were I guess relatively speaking to the other Tutimas they are. I did a little vest pocket video on them. I'll have it up a little later today. But Tutima really got my interest because I learned that Rolf Lang had made, I think it was like what was it? It was a minute repeater. I think he made a minute repeater for him or something incredible like that. And so you have all of these plain, so to speak, watches, and then all of a sudden you've got this thing that's like way up here. Sort of interesting. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Andreas. Yeah, you got locked down until 13th of April. Man, I don't know. Like I said, India's got a lockdown until 21 days. Everybody's locked up, and it's like I said, a friend of mine emailed me, and he's going nuts. Uh, okay, let's practice before we start disassembling our Jorns. Oh, that's what I was going to start with, Chi-Town. That's I can see it through the back, so I know what's in there. All right, well, I'll look around. Maybe I can find one around here. I've got a lot of broken movements, but that's no fun. But taking apart a watch, maybe I'll take apart one of my other ones. Let me see if I've got one. Well, I've got one here. Maybe I'll take this one apart. This was one I did, built myself, and it's got it's either let's see, it would be a 6497, and it's been sitting around there. I think I'm going to have to take it apart anyway because it's stuck, and so I'll have to. There's something up here called right here. This little thing's called a click, and this guy's wound up all the way, so I'll have to unstick them somehow. So I'll go in there. That might be a project. You know that tool I showed you with the two teeth on it? This is the kind of back that they have. You pop it in there and take it off. And this may simply be another movement I've broken. I'm not sure. Oh, let's see. Tutima. Hi, Randy. You like Tutima? Yeah, they're good ones. eBay has tons of parts. Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, it's just called a click, Eddie. That was the name, just a click. Not click spring, I guess, is a spring that works the click, but that keeps your what happens, you gotta be really careful with that click, otherwise the thing will go bzzz, and the whole thing will unwind. Now, like I said, I'm good at breaking these things, so yeah, this will be my project. So, I'll take it apart and try to get it working again. Sort of a watch repairman. Uh, my favorite tool is a hammer. Yeah, I tell you, I could take a hammer sometimes. Uh, who else was overdue for a haircut before this happened? Yeah, I'm always overdue for a haircut. Um, I always forget, I'm always busy and doing something, and I run down to my barber. I've been going to the same barber for like 20 years, and he retired, but then he comes in twice a week, and now he doesn't even do that anymore because of this thing. Um, hold the crown and let it go slowly. Yep, that's what you're supposed to do, Eddie. They, we're trying to do that, and bzz. Hey, let's see. I think I'd build a miniature marine chronometer with a Devil ETA 6497 on the hood. Yeah, that'd be a chronometer, though. Um, well, no, you could sort of make a chronometer with it because essentially the thing about a chronometer um, is the getting putting it at different angles. By the way, too, let me show you something. This is my was it Frederick Constant makes this thing called an analyzer, and I put it into my just plug it into my iPhone, and there's an app that I put on my iPhone that goes with it, and then I click the watches like this, and it'll this part right here is right over the balance, and use it for a time grapher. The great thing about this tool is that it keeps a like a database for you in the application that you get with this thing. So it's really it's probably not as good as a regular time grapher, but the ones, most of the $100, $50 time graphers that most hobbyists buy aren't considered that hot anyway. The thing that's nice about this, you can do it pretty quickly. Time grapher gives you a little more information, but if you want a nice little easy to use time grapher, go to the Frederick Constant website and look for Analyzer. And it's essentially a little time grapher. And you can plug it into your phone and use it anytime. They're really handy to have. So the handiest thing, this thing was like 89 bucks for this desktop workbench. The greatest thing. They're from Auto Fry. Okay, what else is going on? They closed the barber shop the day I had an appointment. Yeah. Might have a ponytail by the time it's over. Yeah. I got um there's this guy who advertises furniture. I don't know, he's not much younger than I am. And he's bald except for he grew a long ponytail. I think ETA made a movement in chronometer grade. Yeah, Randy, what chronometer COSC chronometer grade is simply going through a number of tests. And what I like to do is to, use a toothpick or something or a pegwood stick and simply make adjustments on the regulator. And when you do that, I get the things down to, almost spot on, as close to zero as possible. And that's a lot of fun to do. Now, on a watch like this that, that I made and now it quit working, that's it's like Yeah, so sort of fun thing to do. Eddie, yeah, Eddie, your skills are a little too high. I've seen your watch, you're really a nice one. Uh, so you got, if that, yeah, maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll start with taking a watch apart tomorrow morning, see what happens. Hey, Brian, sorry you're late. Yeah, good grief. We're busy these days trying to stay sane. Um, oh, you're driving now. Oh, be careful. Um, I live in Michigan, Brian, and we're on a statewide lockdown with only essential things open. Yeah, same here in Connecticut. I think what they call this tri-state area, which is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. I think we were boom, and now they're really getting worried in New York. I don't, I don't know. I Connecticut, we're not very big, either in size or population, and that's sort of good, I suppose, especially where we are. We're sort of in the sticks, and so just staying home. We had a bunch of turkeys that came to our backyard and entertained us while we're stuck at home. Let's see. Oh, I tell you what you could do. Waiting to get a haircut. Hey, rich buddy. Yeah, I know New York is rich buddy. I got a feeling Connecticut may be next, and I know New Jersey is heading that direction. Like I said, we're even going to have our groceries delivered. They have this special thing. You get up at 6 in the morning and go down to the grocery store. They have it for people over a certain age, and I just made it by a lot. I was stationed in New London Navy in 1980. Ah, cool. Yeah, that's not the shore. That's down by the shore. We're inland. The only thing that is identifying. There are two things in it that you can talk about it in Connecticut. Otherwise, it's pretty much of a rectangle, and then it's got like a little thing poking out that's Fairfield County. Some people call it the Panhandle, but I know the people who live there wouldn't want to hear that. And then at the top, there's a little notch that there was some deal with Massachusetts, 250 years ago, and they just cut out a little notch. We're near the notch, so okay. Turkey tastes great. Ah, come on, man. And eat a turkey, especially these wild turkeys. They're out there just minding their own business, being turkeys, and you want to eat them. Oh, I want to make one with a handmade dial. Yeah, that's something. There's some guys who are in the pretentious watchmakers with me who are really good at that. They know how to do it, and they have all kinds of software to do that and stuff. And there's a guy who lives not too far from where I do. I just discovered him yesterday, and we just said he makes these uh, enamel dials. I mean, some really elaborate ones, and they're different kinds of enamel, and he makes them. So I'm gonna interview him, and he also makes watches. So I'm gonna interview him after all of this stuff is gone. Hey, Forbin, I'm in San Francisco and work in emergency trade. Oh, wow. City emergency orders effective. Oh, man. Yeah, I used to live in San Francisco. I love San Francisco. First year I lived in San Francisco, I hated it. After the second year I lived in San Francisco, I didn't want to live on any place else on earth. It's just a great city. Not sure why it took me a while to get used to it, but it did. But once I was used to it, I loved it. Um, Oh man, Mark. Uh, let's see what's going on, Randy. Tutima brought out a refresh of the Caliber 59 a couple years ago. It's called the Caliber 659. The calibers that I'm going to be talking about that are on the ones are, forgot the numbers on them, but they're versions of the Valjoux 7750. They just said on the news this morning that the South will see less corona because the virus doesn't survive heat. This is dangerously false news. You know, all you got to do is look at Louisiana. They're in real trouble right now, and that was another thing too. Same with Florida. There are a lot of southern states. We had snow yesterday, so we got a while before it heats up. But um, I don't know, man. I don't. If you live any place, you got to be careful. I don't know what the situation in South America, because in South America, Southern Hemisphere, it's been winter time, and I'm not sure what the situation is there. Like I said, a friend of mine in India, India is pretty warm climate too, and they're under a 21-day lockup. So there's I Forbin, I agree. There's a lot of dangerously false news. Uh, see, got a text from UK government come through today stating we must stay in. Yeah. Now this is what we'd call a complication. Hey, Brian. Let's see when you talk to this. Forbin, yeah, people forget a lot of these viruses start in southern China, Asia, and Africa where it's warm. MERS starts in the Middle East, also hot. Yeah, man, the trouble with the information is it doesn't seem to be reliable. I mean, you got people who, they don't believe in global warming, they don't believe in science, but they believe in, I don't know what. Um, I I got some relatives that I worry about not believing in, they want to believe in witchcraft. Who knows? Let's see. Okay, the 659 comes from their 1930s Flieger chronograph. Okay. Snowbound folks are better off. They're familiar with being indoors. Better mind for this. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Unless they're skiers, they go out. Um, I don't know. I tell you, I'd rather have. I think Brian, if they believed in UFOs, that would be an upgrade for them. Okay, here in Canada, we're used to snow and cold. We're out all year. Yeah, yeah. Those are the. I don't want to give the Canadians a hard time. All the Canadians do is they send their best comedians down here. So we've got a lot of unemployed Canadians. I mean, a lot of unemployed American comedians because the Canadians are so funny. Anyhow, so I didn't mean to pick on you guys. All right. Well, listen, looks like my time is up. So, all right. We got two tomorrow. We have the one in the morning and then the one in the afternoon. And I'll start. Maybe I'll start on this one and see if I can unbreak it. And anybody else, get a watch and play around with it, and we can do that. Quartz watches overtake mechanical due to the cost of production, affordability, another quartz crisis loom. I don't think so. I think with I think if instead of going to quartz, they're going to the smartwatches more than quartz. I would be my guess, but I could be wrong. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming, and well, we'll get through this. I hope everyone does. Take care.